They'll have to wait. I'd actually have to say TnC by draft. I think it's going to be a bit easier to pull this off. You're not as reliant in getting farm on, say, your Legion Commander, whereas for Adroit, the Storm, the Troll, the Void, need some farm, and Boomy's Shaker. These are all fairly greedy heroes, whereas for TnC, you only really have to worry about the space that Armel will get on TA. Beyond that, Monkey King, you can make an argument, yeah, need some farm. Just what? I'd say if you're going to be fighting early on with your Bounty Hunter, you only really need perhaps the Echo Saber. That's it. The Legion Commander just needs 6. You have everything else from the rest of your team to follow up from that damage. You just need to be able to jump up, get the duel off in any easy target, and build off that way. It's down to TnC having to play fast with his track. We did see them try to play faster yesterday. It didn't quite work out, but with this lineup, it should be a bit easier to pull off.
"30 seconds to battle."
Looks like Adroit is going for a very early lane swap now as well. They are tossing Bok to the top lane. They're clumping a lot of heroes down bot. I think they're going to be going for that safe laner versus safe laner with an aggro try once more. And that's something they've done multiple times yesterday. I think it is really quite effective with how Adroit plays. They do tend to really shut down that opposing safe laner hard when they kind of go for these lane swaps. It's not a good time for Bok, and this is probably the laning matchup TnC wants. They want to kind of bully Bok off, but they are immediately switching out from Adroit. Natsumi goes top, Bok is probably going to work his way down bot, and they are going to try to go for that safe laner versus safe laner matchup. Oh, Bok. Gonna have to walk up. It's a lot of time that's gonna be wasted by KP, and that's gonna give them a lot of free space on both the top and bot lane.
I saw that ending from miles away.
Yeah, for sure. There's just no way of switching out easily. They've committed to TPs. They're gonna have to take these lanes as Adroit dictates. It's not gonna be the easiest time. I mean, KP's already stuck at level 1. He is gonna hit 2 in a bit. But this is not the point where an LC can just dip into the jungle, especially when you go for level 1 overwhelming. You're gonna have to try to harass people out in lane.
An easy shot.
Denied. Radiant's bottom tower is staggering.
Like a drunk sailor.
First blood. It was ours all along.
Really important kill for TnC, I think. They really need to find these early pickoffs with the potential they have with a really strong support. Tim's just finding that arrow and the damage from the Starstorm in the end does pay off. And that does give CML a free reset if you want to be optimistic for Adroit, but this gives a lot of EXP towards this Mirana, which you definitely need on a hero like that.
Regeneration.
This isn't the end. That was no shock.
This time a nice pickoff going the way of Adroit. They're going to be really happy as well. He managed to find that core instead. So March does get to live this time around. He's not being punished on Bounty Hunter as much, but not too much he can do to try to save his core in that case. And Bunky King's not going to be too happy about that, although it does look like Gabby is going to take this opportunity to switch lanes.
Miles away.
Yeah, just again, more punishment coming out from Adroit. TnC is still trying to respond to these lane swaps. This is going to cost them early on. There's not much you can expect from the soul
Bounty.
there. March does teleport back bot to soak that lane. You do see 3 heroes up top for now, but the TP is coming out from KP. So again, playing that chasing game with the ideal matchups for TnC. Pretty late in though. We are at 5 minutes. This is a late point to lane swap.
Radiant think fortification can save them.
It's one of the things that Adroit is ignoring and kind of just letting be. Is Armel is actually finding that really good early game that he needs on TA. This is something we talked about from TnC's draft. Their TA is the only one that actually needs to get online very fast. Armel is certainly up there. He's whittled down his tier 1 all the way down to less than half HP. If Adroit's not careful, they're going to lose a lot of ground fast, and Armel's farm will just escalate from this moment on. They're not going to be able to scout out those side camps near the mid lane without access to that tier 1, so Armel's just really going to find all the farm he needs.
Perfect.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Over here now!
Perfect.
It's a bit of a tight time here for Adroit. Like, you're not getting the best of times with Mac. You saw how precarious his situation is. TnC is actually setting this early game pace quite nicely. It is fairly even on the kill board. The net worth is not too wide yet coming out from TnC. It is just a slight 1k lead. But you have to take a look at that net worth. Even sub 10 minutes in, Armel is already solidly in front of everyone else. And this is going to cause complications. You don't see the same kind of farm coming out from Adroit. You have a decent start. Natsumi is about 700 gold behind. Not too bad, especially at this point in the game, but the impact Control has with that early farm is not the same.
Radiant's middle tower can't handle this deluge.
Yeah, nice little escape. In the end, they do find the kill they want. They did have to drop Boomy earlier on, but you're going to be happy with that still. More kills up top.
I saw that ending from miles away.
Dire's top tower needs some friends.
What's this? Same as
Dire
you fortified
time.
their structures? Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff wind.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is about to take the plunge.
Definitely. They found all the farm they wanted on their big heroes. They are applying pretty decent pressure on the map. Adroit is responding well enough,
Radiant's bottom tower
but this isn't usually the Adroit you tend to see. Adroit likes to be the one setting pace. Adroit likes to be one dictating these fights. They're just not able to because their draft is just so much slower. And TnC now is making great use of this early draft. They just need, I'd say the only thing that's lacking is levels on March. You want that bounty hunter 6 to get crack kills.
This will do nicely.
Dire's top tower is about to take the plunge.
Definitely is. They're playing around their timings well. I like the prioritization on just finding kills with KP around, just not taking that slow approach with these kinds of heroes. They know they have an early level advantage. They know they're stronger at this point to get this kind of fight out. And Adroit just is forced to respond, but it's never a favorable response, although they are clumping around at tier 1.
Radiant fortified their structures. Attack the heroes.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower faces
no.
a stiff wind.
Form falters.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Back? Oh man.
Temple cannot protect itself. That's why I'm here.
TnC just really bringing it to Adroit today. I love how much more active they are on the map. Even Armel is just ready to go without finishing the Desolator off, without his Blink Dagger up and running. He's just ready to be with his team, to find these counter kills, to force Adroit to play from behind, which is honestly not where Adroit likes to play. They're never used to playing from that position. They do this when Boomy plays a greedier hero. They are more than likely waiting for that Blink Dagger to be up before they take fights. It's the same kind of mindset when they give Boomy his mag. It takes a lot of time. The issue is TnC is actually clearing out a lot of the map in this downtime. They've got a 4K lead now at 12.5 minutes in. You've got Armel at 6.8k net worth. He just finished up his Desolator. Earlier fights didn't even have it. He's going to be working towards his Blink next. You take a look at Gabby. He's not been slowed down. His farm is pretty darn good, although he doesn't have any major item up yet. But once that Diffusal Blade's up, you're really just going to lose. It's already an issue having that mana up. Just won't have anything to fight with from Adroit if you're not careful.
Spoiled that stuff.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dire.
It's stark contrast to their movements yesterday. Yesterday, they were a lot more defensive. They were only planting wards on their side of the map. They weren't going for these aggressive smokes. This time around, this smoke came out because March hit 6. They've got the track, they know they've got to use it. They don't find anything, but it's the understanding that they need that aggression is what's really different from yesterday's series. And of course, knowing that the jungle's empty, they can safely go for the Roche.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff wind.
Issue for Adroit's draft is that they don't have anyone that can just kind of be sacrificed right now. You don't have any hero that can just kind of hop short farm. Nice arrow from Tim's to grab that rune. But that's the issue here. TnC is going to be looking to play aggressive. They're already piling up in dual wins. They're going to be starting to pile up on the track kills. There on out, that net worth lead we see at 5k is only going to widen. Adroit needs to somehow find a way to split this farm evenly and safely. They're just not able to do that. I think the best thing you could hope for is perhaps to always have CML step out of the jungle, just stop trying to farm up, or at least maybe after the mech, leave the jungle and kind of be the sacrificial distraction that Adroit needs.
Dire structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower is about to flounder. Dire's bottom tower won't last long. Dire's
Just
bottom
he's
tower
line now. Nothing to stop him from getting that work done. That's mainly because they left him alone in lane. Armel had a free time against the Storm Spirit. They didn't invest in any sort of support rotations. He's just free to do what he wants.
Dire structures are fortified.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Invisibility.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
This is a bit of a turning point for Adroit. They have the Blink and Boomy. This is when they should be aggressive, when they should be trying to find those kills. You do see the smoke out from TML. They're going to try to maximize this item reveal, but they're already on top of TnC.
Where's the body? Oh, what I did!
Dire's middle tower is under pressure.
Thanks you.
Radiant's top tower is on the rocks.
The hidden ones have blessed me.
They're definitely still very far ahead, right? 8k lead, they've got the map control. Adroit is trying to find a way back in. They haven't quite revealed the Blink Slam, although I'm sure TnC's aware of it. They've got track on Boomy for a long time. But they need to maximize his item pickup. This is why they were playing so slow. This is why Boomy wasn't as active with the rotations, because he was trying to find a way to get this gold up. And if they don't manage to make use of this utility that they suddenly have, then they're just not going to be able to bounce back in. They need to find those key kills. Armel was just free to take that top tier 2. No contestation coming out from it. And TnC is just playing in that entire dire jungle. There's no vision from Adroit to even see this happening. They only have one ward in their southern jungle. That's it.
Dire are scanning for enemies. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is drowning.
Radiant's bottom tower faces a stiff wind.
Dire's middle tower just got knocked down.
Radiant are scanning for enemies.
They are trying. Like, they are trying to finish up Box Ags. It's still a long way away, but of course we know what happens when you do have that tool up. Just a lot more utility. Spirit. It's not going to do too much against that BKB on Armel. It will give you something against everyone else. So you do have a way to get that done. I think now Adroit has to be very cautious about where Armel is. They need to kind of isolate him first, take him out, because they have nothing to really pierce through that BKB. They don't really have any control, and a lot of their damage is going to be magical. It's riding on Boomy's AoE, it's riding from Storm, it's riding from the Void Spirit's Burst. Their troll is nowhere near ready yet. Just only has that diffusal up, still working on to Yasha. You compare that to Gabby, at least has the BKB with it. He's going to be hitting harder in front of everyone for a much longer time. These BKBs are something that TnC wants to use. He's smoked up. Oh man. Small mistakes like that could potentially cost TnC. Like, Adroit's gonna be very happy with slipping out there. It's their turn to smoke out. It's their turn to try to find something, and you do.
And my mind are as one.
No, hasn't come out yet, and it's going to be a massive issue for Adroit if that keeps happening mid-fight. TnC had a couple of interesting happen there as well. KP was controlled up first. I think Gabby popped his BKB, but had his tree chopped in nearly the same tick, so he was on BKB but stunned up in the ground for a long time. That did take away from some of that initial TnC had. It felt like Adroit could have found a little bit more. Again, they did not extend the slam from Boomy, which allows them to smoke up once more, trying to find something. They need to get that perfect initiation going. They need to be able to leverage the shaker. They just haven't yet. Definitely is. He's on top of everyone that he needs to be on top of. His arrows just always land the key targets. That's without the Yules. He has the Yules up and running now. He can just set up for himself. And Adroit has nothing to defend against that. They just have no tools, no farm, no items to really speak of to counteract what TnC has. With its Aegis and Cheese now, it's going to be so much harder to try to defend that high ground. They will kind of rely on getting a big initiation or a pickoff, but they keep trying to pop out of their base to find some farm when March is just being super effective with these tracks.
Radiant structures are fortified.
The hidden ones have blessed me.
He's way too big in the TA. The thing for Adroit is that they haven't gotten anything to still play with. You could try to buy some time from Mac, finish up his Ags as well. Just about 700 gold off. I think once you have that, you're going to have a lot more control. You're not going to be as pressured on Boomy to wait for them to clump up, because you can kind of clump them up yourself with Mac. But it doesn't feel like it's enough. You have to remember the BKBs are flying out in TnC. They've got 2 lives on their TA right now. They've got a Cheese to worry about as well. Oh my god, Bach.
Yes!
The square root of the end zone!
Definitely. Bit of a loss for Adroit. That's a whole minute where they don't really have that big teamfight potential, and we've got Gabby scouting really far forward.
Prize is mine. Shadow, take this.
Where's the party?
They find 2 free kills, they pull back. It's another dual win, 4 KP, 58 damage already. Not the most impressive amount, but he doesn't really need too much damage. Armel is the damage dealer. And Adroit is going to be stuck in a situation where they just don't have the most impressive high ground defense. Faker, they will have the Ags on Mac, 50 gold away. Can't afford to die here with these. Once that's up, maybe we see the high ground really work in their favor. They're not going to have buyback on Mac, buy out in this item. There's no pressure here from TnC. They've got everything they could possibly want. Their cores do have better scaling for the most part. Like, Adroit does have some ways of trying to match up. The farm's really not there. 16k behind, 27 minutes in. They have to itemize there. Oh, man.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
We questioned that. Marana, Tim's is just playing fantastically today with all of these setups. Another one! Arguably, yeah, that is a slight win. As far as the situation goes, they still have their objectives. They're not quite finding anything else on the map. I think the team fight they want, they're going out of their base to find that really risky move.
Dire's bottom tower won't last long.
My friend rewarded.
Yeah, it did expire mid-fight, I think right when they jumped into Boomy. Right after that, did go away. So it was a bit of a risk for TnC, but the moment you take Boomy out, they just kind of lack control to keep everyone in place. And that is something TnC is aware of. Like, they just need to hunt Boomy down. And then the team fight from Adroit, yeah, with max Ags, you can at least have a little bit more control. There's no follow-up for that control. It's all just damage, and right now that's just not enough to clean up the cores on TnC. They have a lot of leeway there. You take a look at Gabby, just finishes up that Scotty. So whatever burst regen you get from that Chen, completely gone, or at the very least mitigated now.
Bottom tower won't last long. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Impossible!
By the wall, Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
Definitely not.
Dire's middle tower is under pressure. Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They still have the Echo Slam when Boomy does respawn, but it's a tall order. No one else is going to be up in a while. At the very least, you're not going to have Bok. You're going to have your Natsumi Troll try to do the damage, but you really need to give Bok the opportunity to get that slam every single time. Just not able to. We've actually even seen him use that Echo Slam. Get a lot of hesitation. Use that spell, and it's costing them a lot. And this is probably their last fight.
Dire's bottom barracks have fallen.
Is this how Dire's middle barracks fall?
Dire's middle barracks have fallen. Dire's bottom barracks have fallen.
Definitely. They really need to land every single spell. They have to let Boomy sit at the back. They need someone else to bait in because they're not finding them using smokes. Just have someone else stand in front, give Boomy the clearance to just come in, get his slam off. Every time he's picked off first, it just ends in a total disaster for Adroit. So they do have some breathing room here. TnC's not forcing it out quite yet, despite the major item pickups they do have. Natsumi does finish up a Halberd, so you have a way of dealing with Armel at the very least, or Gabby, or even KP. But that's just going to be one target you kind of take out for a while. TnC this time playing a lot more aggressive with their draft, really maximizing that bounty hunter this time around and the Tim Smarana. Just absolutely shining performance for